Welcome to Collect Your Data, the third of 5 modules in this introductory course on citizen science. This module is all about the actual work of doing citizen science. We'll talk about how to move your project from the planning phase out into the field, including methods for collecting data for your project, working with citizen sciences volunteers to test your methods, and best practices that will improve your results. By the end of this module, you'll be able to identify the types of data that are often collected in health-related citizen science projects, describe methods and best practices for data collection in citizen science, and explain best practices for training and engaging citizen science volunteers to ensure data quality. This course was created for citizen scientists everywhere by the University of Maryland, Baltimore's Health Sciences and Human Services Library with an award from the Network of the National Library of Medicine, Southeastern Atlantic Region. In the previous module, we talked about how to plan a citizen science project in your community. You learned about the importance of coming up with a clear research question, setting goals and objectives, and establishing a planning team. We also talked about investigating and learning from projects similar to yours and about getting input from citizen sciences volunteers early in the planning process. We met project planners Clarice and Sean and discovered how they plan to use a citizen science approach to increase access to healthy foods and address noise pollution in their communities. This week, we'll shift gears and focus on the most effective, easy ways for citizen sciences volunteers to collect data for a project. We'll focus on tools, strategies to get good results, testing the process, and training volunteers. So, we'll ask and answer these questions. What will you collect and how will you collect it? Many kinds of information can be captured in citizen science projects. We'll talk about some commonly used approaches. What equipment, tools, or technologies can you use? Cell phones, the availability of inexpensive do-it-yourself equipment, and improved access to the internet and computers have made citizen science accessible to amateur scientists around the world. Is the strategy you're using effective? Test the process and the tools with your volunteers to make sure the methods are effective and make sense. It is much easier to address problems before the project launches rather than weeks or months later. And what training will volunteers need to be successful? This part of the module will focus on training and prepare volunteers for data collection. And remember, to be successful, you'll need to make sure that the tools, instructions, and communications are simple and accessible for all. This is why getting input and involving potential volunteers in project planning is so important. Thank you for joining us to learn more about collecting data for citizen science. In the next video, we will talk about citizen science data and how to get started.